Welcome to the Jeremiah Show. We've got a special treat for you today, continuing our journey through India by way of Houston, Texas, at Musaafer Indian restaurant. I've got the owners here today, Mithu and
Hi,
Shammi.
sorry.
Sorry. Oh, you're saying hi. I haven't introduced you yet, but I
I
love.
I
uh,
I stepped in on the little pause after you said Mithu. I said, "Oh, let me hop in and say hi."
well, hi. So that is that beautiful voice is me too, Malik, and her husband Shammi. They are here today on the show to talk about Musaafer, the restaurant, Indian restaurant in Houston, Texas, just received a Michelin Star. Congratulations, both of you, for that. That is quite an accomplishment. We're going to talk
Thank
about that.
Sure.
Mithu, I wanted to talk a little bit about you first. You had a strong interest growing up in biology. And man,
you.
you're in a whole different world now.
Yeah.
It's been said you pursued, and history shows that you pursued a career in pharmacy, and you were a certified pharmacist.
hmm
But I love this about you, your story. You have a love for food, and your love for food is deeply rooted in childhood memories of your mother's cooking, which involved waiting all week for the biryani on Sundays, dreaming of vats filled with mutton potato curry and rice, scotch eggs for breakfast, mouth melting fish cutlets, and firni, which is broken rice and caramelized milk dessert. Mm. This cooking in your mother's kitchen made a deep and lasting impression on you. And you developed this appreciation for good food and love of cooking and these elaborate meals. After you married your husband, who's sitting there beside you, if you're watching on the YouTube channel here right now, Shammi Malik, you both moved to Lagos, Nigeria.
Yes.
So when you got there, you were disappointed by the local representation of the Indian cuisine. And this made you decide to go into the restaurant business.
Yeah.
That's the food must have not been up to par at all. It's that's a big jump to go into the restaurant business, quite a business, as you know. You established Nigeria's first pizza restaurant by securing Debonair's Pizza franchise.
hmm
That's right.
You went to training, Me Too, in Johannesburg,
Yeah.
and so you left pharmacy behind, it sounds like. So let's pick up the story here, told by you. Let's please welcome Mithu and Shammi Malik to the show. Musaafer Restaurant, Indian restaurant in Houston, Texas. So nice to have both of you here today. Now, what made you relocate to Nigeria, to Lagos, Nigeria? Was it for
So
work?
but Shami was already in Lagos, Nigeria when I got married to him, and he went there, yes, on work. And when we got married, actually, just before we got married, he quit his job.
Right.
Didn't tell me, so I married a jobless man at that time. Uh, I think he
That's
kind of
just a
made us,
little secret.
yes,
Right.
he had a great opportunity before I settled into the creature comforts of and the security of a job that he would just give it all up. So it was, I think it was wonderful because we started our business together. We worked together, morning to night. It was a new country for completely new country for me, more familiar for Shami. But it was a lot of fun. It was, of course, there were challenges just as they are in any business that you start or any work that you're doing. But it was great for us to be doing that together. And we went into a few things. We, a couple of other side businesses which are still there. One of them being ice cream. So we did step a little bit into the food industry. But though Debonair's Pizza was our first one, I remember Shammi being very excited about the idea of owning a restaurant when we went out before we were married.
It was, I'm going to step in here and say that, when I was young, I used to watch this movie called Casablanca.
Uh-huh.
And I would
I know it
see
well.
Robert in his white, suit and cap and a cigar in his mouth, owning this amazing, nightclub and a restaurant in Casablanca. And I said, oh, one day I'm going to do this.
That's who
So
I want to be. That's who I want to
Yeah.
be. Yeah. Do you have a white coat now, by the way? That's a good
I was
look.
going to say that.
Shammi?
Hasn't been the white coat, the white cap on the cigar, but the restaurant is there. The nightclub was also there in Nigeria. So I must also joke about this, that it's I'm glad that he found someone with a kind of deeper interest in food, because all he wanted was a suit and the cap and the cigar.
Yeah, like most restaurant projects start out in nightclubs, right? They're vanity projects.
Yeah.
You like the vanity side of it.
Yes.
You're the club owner with the cigar. I like that. So that sounds exciting. So you moved to a new location, a new place. It's all brand new to you, new businesses, new marriage. What an exciting time in your life, it sounds like.
Absolutely. Absolutely, it was. And I think it was also really exciting when we started out with Debonair's Pizza, which is actually a South African pizza franchise chain. And I would like to stress here that what has always appealed to us has been a certain level of quality. And so though Debonair's is a quick service model or style of pizza, it was at that time one of the gourmet pizzas that you find within that category. So they had a gamut of beautiful sauces that they would use on their pizzas. It was not your usual, simple pizzas. So it was exciting to start that. We also wanted to be, we ended up actually being pioneers in the sense that Nigeria didn't have any pizza restaurants before we opened Debonair's. And people, I mean, those who traveled, of course, the affluent who had traveled abroad knew what pizzas were. But I remember when we were hiring for Debonair's Pizza, we would have people who had no clue, even what the pizza was. So it was great to bring
That's
that.
interesting. That's interesting. So there's a little bit of an education there. And there's an education at your restaurant now, right? I mean, you train the staff to tell the story. So you had to, in a way, educate some of your new customers at the
Oh,
peak.
yeah, absolutely. If you talk about education in Musaafer, the idea with Musaafer always was that it has to be an experience. It's not just stepping out for dinner or lunch. It has to be just stepping into something, that you're going to remember for a very long time.
And where did that come from, that idea? Because it's not always, when people open restaurants, that's not always the vision. That's a very broad vision. That's a great vision to have. There should be a story connected to it. They're stepping into something.
Yes.
Where did that come from?
I agree with you. I think it kind of built up step by step, so to speak. We started with the idea that we did want a big footprint, which we've had previously. So we wanted something which would make a statement for sure. And then when we started working on the concept and the design and everything kind of started, we wanted to do a regional Indian cuisine menu, which is not commonly found out of India and the rest of the world. And so it was like layers adding on. We decided it has to be Musaafer. We decided that it has to be a culinary journey that has to be done if it's going to be, a regional cuisine menu. And so once all those layers kind of added up, it was very, very important to bring the storytelling component into the experience. One, storytelling per se is deeply rooted in our culture, Indian culture. I think it's across the board. Everybody loves to hear a great story, but especially in India, it's called katha. So there was so much that through the centuries that has been focused around storytelling, and also because there's so much of history in some of the food that comes on the plate if you're at Musaafer. So we really wanted people to experience more than the dining and get a little bit of the Indian culture. So you have a dish in our restaurant called lal mas. There's a story behind that of how there was hunting and there was cooking and there was only those specific red chilies and how they were used in this. So we didn't want people to just have the lal mas and go. We wanted them to sit there and visualize the history of that dish, and we wanted the people who are all the staff who are in the front of house, we wanted them actually to be like ambassadors of
Yeah.
India. So a very extensive training program. It's a 3-week training program where they study, they go in depth about Indian history. So we start from prehistoric times, the ancient Indian civilizations, all the others that invaded India over the centuries and up until modern times. What are the political parties of India? Who is the Prime Minister of India? What are the religions in India? What do we produce? What is the agriculture? What's the topography? What's the geography? And how all of these things eventually translate into the diverse landscape of food that we have in different regions of the country. So it's been such a gratifying process to see people get excited about the knowledge. And we have seen people go over and beyond what we're teaching them to get more information, to have extra sessions with the chef. So it's just been a wonderful, wonderful process to see this. And we get compliments when Indians come to our restaurant and who really know their food and their culture, and they're told something by the servers and they're like, oh wow, how did you know that? So it's really been wonderful.
That sounds very rewarding. It sounds like you could work up a hunger at the table with it, because it almost feels like you're on the journey, right? You're traveling there, you're experiencing the farms and the territory and the ingredients. I've really got to experience this. I've got to get to Houston and see you guys. So,
You do.
so so when you started talking, when you looked for a franchise, or you looked, you wanted to go in the restaurant business, you looked for a franchise, and then you went and learned the business. It sounds like the whole back of the
Yes,
house, front of the house, the
everything from
financials, the food costing, port costing. You learned all of that. But
PR, financials to product knowledge to everything.
Yeah.
but it did, and did that help you? Because I was going to ask, the restaurant business is so tough, and did you get enough education? Do you feel that gave you that foundation? So
I
many
think that
restaurants.
became our backbone for
Yeah.
formulating all our standard operating procedures and our general training programs and everything. And that's where Mithu has been working day and night and creating this with the chef, and then translating into this amazing training program that we have, which actually, like Mithu said, the servers who join us or managers who join us are actually excited about learning, because it's
Yeah.
not just which you read and give a test for, but it's something which it improves your general knowledge as well.
Well, and when you introduce them to the people who grow the spices, or the farmers that produce your ingredients, when you introduce them not only to the story but to the people that are growing the food and producing the food, um, that the guest gets to taste. I mean, that's an education for those servers, those front of the house people that are working with your guests. That's can be a very exciting um, thing to inspire them,
Yes, yes,
inspire, and as you said,
absolutely.
passes on to the guests, and they go out and learn. It sounds well. So, how did you go from the pizza franchise to Houston, Texas?
Very like if I step in here, we started growing the pizza franchise because we'd taken the license for the country. Added a burger franchise called Steers, a fish and chips, a coffee shop as well. So we opened multiple restaurants, and there was this one location of ours which was the most, how would I say, prominent location we had, like a flagship. And we had in that one big hall, we had a Debonair's Pizza, and we were to open a Steers burger franchise, which was taking a little time to negotiate the license. And like Mithu was saying that, I'll go back a little that, one of my favorite restaurants is a very iconic restaurant in India. It's called Bukhara. There's multiple presidents from America have gone when they visit, had eaten, and dignitaries have gone and eaten as well. It's really iconic.
It's in Delhi.
It's in Delhi. And I remember that was the first meal I took Mithu to, when we got married. And I told her, this is my dream. And this is one day something which, if we get a chance, we'll translate into a restaurant of our own. So coming fast forwarding, we had this location, we had this space, and we just kind of one day were talking and we said, okay, why don't we start our first Indian restaurant here? Because we've been talking about for such a long time. So we started a more casual dining Indian restaurant, and we had called it Spice Bar at that time. And our focus was primarily Northwestern frontier food, but both of us had this one thing goal in mind, and that was that we need to bring out the most authentic dishes as they are supposed to come. So a little hunt, we got two chefs, one tandoor, which is where you grill and cook your kebabs, and one curry chef. And so we did the design ourselves. Mithu went out into the Lagos market, got all fabric and upholstery. We kind of flew in a carpenter from India to Lagos. And in my workshop, we just kind of, did the entire design and the furniture. And we launched the restaurant. And of course, with the two chefs and their kitchen staff, and the two of us, we kind of worked day and night out. And I think within the first few weeks, we became a fad, in the sense of
it became very popular,
very popular, because just for the taste and the flavor of what we were.
Authentic.
Sorry, go on.
I was going to say it was authentic. It was.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. And from there, we had friends, bankers, diplomats were saying that, hey, we come here and we come for a great meal, but we have, dignitaries, we have wives decked up, and why don't you do something fine dine? So from there, we made this two-level, beautiful kind of a jewel in the crown of Lagos's, culinary scene restaurant called the Spice Route, or Route as we call it. And there it became again very, very popular. We had a little clubbing aspect to it as well, but it was really, really a popular restaurant. And I had a lot of friends. Lagos and Houston are both oil-based economies. And so there was a lot of people who would be dining at our restaurant. I would be playing golf with them, and they all kept saying that, hey, Shammi, why don't you bring your restaurant to Houston? So when, one day just took a flight, came here, saw this wonderful, diverse city, and we saw an opportunity, a window, and Mithu and me decided, okay, let's do our first restaurant here.
Wow. There's a big Indian culture in Houston, isn't there?
It is.
I wasn't aware of this, but are most of what's the mix? Is there guests and customers that come that have never really experienced authentic Indian food and then fall in love with it and become loyal and repeat customers? Is it Indian guests that come that realize that you guys are doing it the right way, that you're bringing flavors from home, or what's that mix look like? People that discover Musaafer.
So yes, it's been it's been really nice to see that we do have a huge customer base of Indians, because that kind of validates our cuisine, and lets us know that what we're doing is right. And at the same time, we also have a lot of international, because Houston is the most cosmopolitan city in the US. So we have people from all nationalities who come. There are people who, I remember Shammi meeting someone who said that they didn't even know that they had these taste buds, and they've just discovered that after having.
Oh, that's a compliment.
That is a compliment, yes. So it's been a wonderful journey. I think Houstonians have been very appreciative and very supportive, and I think that is what has seen us through. We opened right at the peak of the pandemic, and we didn't. It was hard to visualize success at that point, but it's been wonderful to see the support that we have got. And so, yes, to your point, we do have. I would say 60% of our client at least is client base is Indians, and it's also really nice to hear from them. So we have our regulars who, when they have friends over, when they have visiting family, when they want to show off, they bring them to Musaafer. When they want people to, they say that you make us proud by showcasing India in such a beautiful light. So that is really heartwarming to hear.
Yeah, I bet that is.
That brings me to very quick that I remember I was at the restaurant one day, and the server comes and says, "Hey, there's a table of youngsters, which they were in their 20s and early 30s, and they want to see me." And I went, and we bordered Pakistan and India, and for a few political reasons, there's a bit of a strictness in how who visits where and how you get
it's
a visit
the
visa.
hardest thing to be able to visit each other.
So they when I went up to the table, they said, they all got up. They said, "We want to shake your hand and we want to say thank you." And I said, "Okay, that's great." And they said, the thank you is for that we do not know in our lifetimes if we will be able to visit India, but thank you for bringing a bit of it to Houston and exposing that to us. I said, "Oh my God, that is such a heartwarming and compliment." So that was really nice. So we get a lot, like Mithu was saying. I get to see so many people in their 50s and 60s and later on in life, like saying that, "Oh my God, I never knew this taste bud ever existed, or this flavor." So yeah, Jared, you have to come to our food, and
know if you discover something new.
Yeah, I love Indian food. I'm in Santa Barbara, California, and I haven't found a really great Indian restaurant. So maybe you need another one here.
Yeah.
I'll find you the location. Well, what a beautiful story, and so that must fuel you and feed you all the hard work that you put into your restaurant. There's a lot of love there. There's a lot of hard work. As owners, and it sounds like you're really hands-on and involved, and it must just be so good to hear that from your guests. Let's take a real quick break. I am speaking with Mithu and Shammi Malik. They own Musaafer Indian restaurant in Houston. You can go to musaaferhouston.com to a beautiful website as well. There's the artwork. You can check it out. I'm gonna let you get surprised by the artwork that changes on the walls. musaaferhouston.com, Houston's premier destination for Indian cuisine. They're honored to receive, chef told me that it was 12 days ago. It hasn't been that long. Received a recognition for the 1-star designation from the Michelin Guide at the Houston Michelin Award ceremony. Congratulations on that. There's a lot going on there. The new winter chef tasting menu is going to be unveiled soon. Can we give out dates yet, or do we want to have everybody watch the website and sign up to?
Yes, it's going to be the first week of December.
First week of December. Okay. And you can go to reservation at musaaferhouston.com. Socials, Instagram, Facebook, Musaafer Houston. And in February 2024, Musaafer was named among the top 15 most romantic restaurants in the world, alongside such luminaries as New York City's 11 Madison Park. This award was given by Blackland, an international award-winning VIP travel company. Check it out and go to musaaferhouston.com. We'll be right back.